Good morning from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant, and we hope you're enjoying your weekend. Welcome to Kentucky Newsmakers. Today's guest is what we call a twofer, at least for now. Jim Gray is the Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, and the election is now just around 3 weeks away. He's hoping to defeat freshman Republican Senator Rand Paul. Gray is also, of course, Lexington's mayor, and it's been a busy time for the city as well in recent months. In his Senate bid, Gray has been critical of Paul's time spent running for president. The two differ on approaches to the future of coal country, a minimum wage hike, and public education. Gray knows he's in an uphill battle in a state that has not elected a Democratic senator since Wendell Ford won his final term in 1992. That has not kept him from running an aggressive race and extensively traveling the Commonwealth. Now, we're attempting to schedule Senator Paul before the election, but today Lexington Mayor and U.S. Senate candidate Jim Gray is our guest, and we welcome you. Good to see you.
Feel great to be with you again.
We're fortunate to have you here. You've been on the move so much around the state, campaigning hard, and yet those predictor maps that are flashed up on the TV screens or on the internet you can go and search for still have Kentucky listed safe Republican in this Senate race. Do you believe there is something going on among voters out there that is undetected by the prognosticators?
There's a lot going on with the voters today, and you know, there's a lot of turbulence in this race. I don't think we've ever seen a campaign really like this one before, at least in my lifetime. So what I hear from voters is, and what I hear from the people around Kentucky is, they care about Kentucky. They care about our state. They really care about their economic security. They care about jobs. And that's why my campaign has been all about jobs. It's been all about how we're going to create an economy that grows at greater than a 1.5% pace a year. The middle class, Bill, and you know this, the middle class is the backbone of America, a rising middle class. And this is why in my campaign I have put together a plan that's based on building America back, building infrastructure in America. That's building roads and bridges, of course, highways, but also infrastructure for a modern economy, high-speed internet that accesses all of our state. And my plan also includes building advanced manufacturing, building small businesses, which all leads to building the middle class. You know, it's just so important. It's just so important that we focus on giving people opportunity. That's what we've done in Lexington. That's what I've done all my life in my business sector experience. So, pulling it all together, I say we need a senator that focuses on Kentucky, that focuses on Kentucky jobs, and not spending his time running for president.
Do you find as you travel the Commonwealth that people give you a fair hearing, or is this such a red-leaning state at this point that people are more prone to go send a Republican to that Senate seat?
You know, I think that's what some people, especially you hear that in the press, but that is not what I hear when I travel Kentucky. What I hear when I travel Kentucky is they want a senator who is thinking about reaching across the aisle, not a partisan senator. Someone who is willing to say, not every Democratic idea is a good one, and not every Republican idea is a bad one. We need to reach across the aisle. People are tired of the gridlock and the dysfunction in Washington. That's what I hear more than anything.
As you criticize Senator Paul for running for president and investing his time in that race, he says that he did not abandon Kentucky, that he did show up for votes in Washington, and that it made him a known national brand that can only benefit Kentucky.
Well, he missed 70–80% of his committee hearings. You know, this is a senator who was focused on the presidential campaign almost as soon as he was sworn into the Senate. 3 months after he was sworn into the Senate, he was in the cornfields of Iowa and the coffee shops of New Hampshire. Now, admittedly, he was then campaigning for his father, but it was a preparation for his own race. This is a senator who has represented not Kentuckians, but his own personal ambitions. You know, Bill, you look at this Senate seat. This was a Senate seat that was once held by a Kentucky statesman, Henry Clay. Now, people in Lexington, Central Kentucky know that name well. But Henry Clay was always looking out for the interests of Kentucky. Later, it was held in the mid part of the 20th century by John Sherman Cooper, a Republican, who was actually a mentor to John F. Kennedy, a Democrat. These were people that got along. Senator Paul has demonstrated that he really has a hard time getting along with just about anybody. Now, he's good at filibusters. He's good at filibusters, but he has had 16 resolutions introduced, and none of them passed. He's had 134 bills that he sponsored, and none of them passed. We need a senator in Washington who's willing to collaborate with others. I've spent my whole life. You know, I once said that the best preparation for city council is a family business, where you have to, you know, get up every morning and work together, despite what the day before you may have had some differences. That's this way in the United States Congress and the Senate as well. I believe people should be able to get along and, you know, get over differences, get over partisan differences, and work for the country's better interests.
The Republicans make the case that Kentucky has clout in Washington by having a high-profile senator in Paul's case, and certainly in having the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in the other seat. How would you feel if you were to be victorious and your victory is the one that puts the Democrats over the top, holding the majority, and therefore McConnell would lose the Senate Majority post?
Well, I hope I have the opportunity to make some decisions like that. You know, today we've got a senator who's representing Republicans, and we've got a senator who's representing the Tea Party. Kentuckians deserve a senator who is representing Kentuckians. This is what my main focus would be. If it's good for Kentuckians, then I'm going to be for it. If it's not good for Kentuckians, then I'm not going to be for it. I'm willing to work with anybody. In fact, I've said I'll work with whoever is elected president. Senator Paul will not make that commitment. Senator Paul will not make the commitment that he'll work with whoever's elected president.
Have the accusations and the trailing poll numbers of Donald Trump caused you to believe that Republicans in Kentucky could be deprived of long coattails that could be at the top of the ticket?
Well, I really don't know about how the presidential campaign is going to affect the Senate race. What I am focused on is the Senate race and what's good for Kentuckians. You know, when I travel the state, as you mentioned earlier, what I hear people say is, we want a U.S. Senator who's going to be thinking about the problems that we've got here in Kentucky. You know, we've got challenges all across the state. Now, here in central Kentucky, here in Lexington, I often say we've been lucky. You know, we've got an unemployment rate that was 6 years ago was 8.5%. Today it's less than half of that. We've achieved a lot. We've worked through a lot of problems, otherwise intractable problems, like fixing a pension for our city's fire and policemen, like fixing a health care plan for our city's employees. You know, we've done a lot of projects. We've got a consent decree project that we're finishing. So some of the major projects in the city's history are underway today. Well, we've demonstrated here in Lexington that we can actually get along and work across the aisle. We've got Republicans and Democrats on the city council. It can be done. And this is what my campaign is focused on. So we don't know what's going to happen in the presidential race, and I'm sure not going to tell people how to vote in that race. What I'm focused on is the Senate race.
Let's talk about some of the issues. Your new ad criticizes Paul on defense and national security. He says he supports an increase in defense spending at this point. You said that was not the case early in his term, and you're coming out this weekend with a plan for security and defense issues.
Well, Senator Paul was against it before he was for it. So there's been a flip-flop there. Senator Paul came in as an isolationist. Senator Paul was very clearly against the United States intervention, the United States doing its role, performing its role as the leader of the free world. He's been there all along. Now, only recently, when he began running for president, did he advocate for an increase in defense spending. But originally, he advocated for as much as a 30% decrease in defense spending. Now, I am one who always believes you ought to look at ways you can cut out the fat. Reduce your cost basis. That's something I learned from Toyota. But Senator Paul was talking about taking a meat axe to Defense Department spending when you need to take a scalpel to it. This is a time when our nation's surveillance systems, our nation's intelligence systems need to be at their most effective and efficient level, their most robust level. We are fighting terrorism. This is not a time when we should be compromising our nation's intelligence system. And Senator Paul was described as by some of his colleagues as doing more, having done more to compromise the nation's intelligence system than any other senator. Now, that's not in the best interest of the country, and that's certainly not in the best interest of Kentuckians. I learned, Bill, close up, right here in Lexington, that public safety is our #1 priority, our #1 priority. When people feel good about the safety of their city, then they're going to feel better about getting up in the morning, going to work. They're going to feel better about their families and the safety of their families. And this is why our nation's security at this, the world's a dangerous place today. And we need to be aware of that. And we need to be doing all we can to listen carefully and engage public policy in a meaningful way that defends our country.
You were hesitant at first and then supported a hike in the local minimum wage. Do you support a federal increase in minimum?
I always said that I supported an increase in the minimum wage at the federal level. Regrettably, the Congress, the Senate, and the Congress, the House, have not done their job and adjusted the minimum wage over time. This is another example of the gridlock and the dysfunction in Washington. Yes, I have supported a minimum wage in Lexington. It should have been done at the national level. It should have been done at the federal level. I supported it because it's the right thing to do. When we talked earlier about the middle class, a rising middle class is the backbone of America. It always has been. The promise of a rising middle class is what our people expect.
Does the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare need to be scrapped or retooled or left as it is?
The Affordable Care Act needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. Now, I learned in business that when you introduce a new system, new policies, new procedures, in a plant, new plant and equipment where people have to get adjusted to it, it's often going to be more expensive, more costly before it's efficient. But we definitely need to make improvements to the Affordable Care Act. We need to raise the cap. In my view, we need to raise the cap on small businesses from 25 employees to at least 50. These are examples of fixes that need to be made to that plan.
Coal has been a major issue in recent Kentucky campaigns, and frequently voters have sided with Republicans who say that overregulation has been key in shutting down mines. Does coal country need to retool for a different kind of future in their economy, or can different politics bring coal jobs back?
Bill, I've worked all over the country on projects. I've seen lots of cities. And what I've learned is that any city or town or region that is dependent on one industry is going to also be susceptible and vulnerable to cycles, to booms and busts. And this is what we've regrettably experienced in coal country. Now, we need to diversify our economy. We need to diversify our economy in coal region and coal country. I have proposed a 4-point plan. I proposed a plan that focuses on building infrastructure. We need to finish and complete the Mountain Parkway, which opens up the region more to opportunity and to investment. We need to finish the Howell Rogers Parkway. These are examples of infrastructure that needs to be done, but I would also invest in and encourage investment in high-speed internet and access, because we are in a knowledge economy. This is a place where we must make investments. You look at the history of our country, we've always made investments. We've always built ourselves out of adversity. After the Great Depression, after World War II, we built the greatest infrastructure project in world history, the interstate highway system. And this is when we were operating at 120% debt to GDP. Today, we're at about 80%. What we know is we can build ourselves out of difficulty. That's the route to economic progress and giving people the jobs they deserve.
You have supported a federal effort to subsidize union coal miners' benefits, saying it makes good on a promise made by former President Harry Truman in the 1940s. Right. Do you worry that the government will be asked to bail out other pension plans if they go down this path?
The government's always intervened at times of adversity, and intervened in order to deliver on its original promise. And this was a promise, as you said. It goes back to Harry Truman in 1946, 1947. Now, what I believe is that you don't let perfect get in the way of good. This is what ought to be done. There are as many as 9,700 retired coal miners who are dependent on their health benefits. There are as many as 3,800 who are dependent on this pension. And this could all go away at the end of this year. I think following up on our commitments, that's just as essential in our government as it is in a business. I've always felt like, do what you say you're going to do, and that's the operative mission and purpose.
Jim Gray is the mayor of Lexington. He's also the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate. We're coming back on Kentucky Newsmakers on WKYT in just a moment. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us here on WKYT, and we're continuing our discussion with U.S. Senate candidate Jim Gray, the mayor of Lexington. He's the Democratic nominee, and the Republican is the incumbent Rand Paul, and we hope to schedule him before the election. Have you enjoyed your time, Mr. Gray, in running this statewide campaign? Has it been difficult to do that and keep your eye on city issues back home?
Well, I like challenges, I have to confess. I like challenges, and I like competitive situations where, sometimes the challenge looks like it's too steep. It's been great, actually, getting out in the state. When I was growing up, after my father passed away, I was only 19 then, but I jumped into our business real quickly. And we worked in projects all over Kentucky, so I drove a lot of these roads that I'm driving today. And I've met a lot of people that I'm actually renewing acquaintances with, which has been really remarkable. I've actually, Bill, met 2 cousins that we'd never met before, I'd never met before, that identified themselves. They came up to me and they said, you have any roots in Cumberland County? Well, that's in southern Kentucky, Burkesville, and that's where my father was from. And they then introduced themselves, and I found out that they're cousins. So all in all, it's been a great experience. It's been a great experience.
What is your strategy to try to win this, if you'll tell us? Most political observers say he has to do very well in Lexington and the surrounding area. He needs to do well in Louisville, which leans Democratic. And then you've got to build a firewall somewhere else, don't you, in this race?
Well, I would just say that every vote counts. There are more registered Democrats in Kentucky than there are Republicans, but I'm reaching out to Democrats and Republicans. My message is one that says I've got a history in Lexington of governing without a partisan hat on. And that's why I say routinely that not every Democratic idea is a good one and not every Republican idea is a bad one. There are votes all over the state. Now, you may not win all of the votes. You may not win 50% of the votes, but you got to try to encourage as many votes as you can all over the state. That's why we're reaching all over the state.
Mayor, let's talk some city issues. In Lexington this week, the city announced an emergency operations center combining disaster services under one roof on Cisco Road. What does that accomplish?
Well, what that does, Bill, is it brings all of our emergency operations systems together. Our E911, even our 311, our LexCall operations are there today. Our emergency management system is there today. This is a project that was planned as far back as 2007. That's when I was on the city council. And I guess that's where my construction experience came into play, because at that time it was estimated to be as much as a $50 million project. It was going to be built out at Coldstream. It was going to be sort of a Taj Mahal. At that time, the recession was starting to loom, and things were just burning hot at that time. And I was cautious about that, and I cautioned to say, this seems like a pretty expensive, when Frankfurt just built one for $10 million and Louisville had one for less than $20 million, why would we be spending more than $50 million? Instead, we looked at, when I became mayor, I asked our public safety commissioner to examine what properties the city already had. And we had an existing facility out on Cisco Road, and it was available. It was empty, 30,000 square feet. So we did an estimate on it, and it revealed that we could do that project for less than $15 million. That's what we've invested today in a state-of-the-art facility. It's going to give us extraordinary efficiencies, going to be very effective, and I'm very excited about it. And we just cut the ribbon on it yesterday.
And the Lexington Senior Citizen Center is now open. right?
Lexington Senior Citizen Center is now open.
The new one.
Yes, the new one is now open, and it's open to really outstanding reviews. The use of the facility is almost doubled already. What I'm really proud of is that we're getting these projects done along with our consent decree project, fixing our sewer system. The city has hundreds of millions of projects that are actually underway, and we've done all of this, Bill, without raising taxes.
A recent unsolved murder has prompted a family to call for surveillance cameras and more police presence in the Winburn neighborhood. How concerned are you about crime trends like that? Is more surveillance in areas an option?
Well, despite Lexington being the safest city of its size in the nation, we still have challenges. I always say that the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. And we, of course, have challenges, just like any city does. These conditions are regrettable, and we have to do all we can. This is why during my administration, we have invested more in public safety than ever in history. We have more police officers on the street today than we have in history. And we're doing what is appropriate. Now, there are issues in terms of privacy issues associated with cameras that are being suggested here, but I'm a mayor. This is my approach to problem solving. I'm going to listen to what all citizens have to say before jumping precipitously to any kind of decision.
The city's panhandling ordinance is being challenged at the Kentucky Supreme Court level, and arguments of that are being heard on Friday. Do you stand by the city's ordinance?
Well, I think the city's ordinance has benefited the city for some time. But I also recognize that times change, and that a court decision that may be imminent may come before the weekend is out. It may cause us to look at how we're engaging these issues today. So I'm willing to, of course, as a mayor, we listen to what a court decision may be, and then we try to adjust and adapt.
Any update on the progress at Centerpoint?
Well, reports are that there is a new contractor, and D.W. Wilburn Company, a very respectable company, and that they're delivering supplies to the site, so that's an encouragement.
City Hall, have you found a place to go, or what are you going to do with the new City Hall?
Well, first I think it's important to put into context why we'd even be looking for a new City Hall. We've got a building that's more than 100 years old today, and it was designed to be a hotel. And in fact, 40 years ago almost, the city moved into the former Lafayette Hotel as a temporary move, and that was 40 years ago. It was never designed to be an office building because the column spacing is so small, so tight together, columns are so tight together that it makes really difficult for a modern office environment. So that's why we're doing it. Now, we're examining a number of sites for a city hall, but I feel confident that whatever decision's made there, it will be one that's made to adapt existing facilities, not build a new, what would some would say a new Taj Mahal. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in an efficient operation, and an efficient operation is then going to deliver better services to our city.
So you're talking about upfitting an existing building?
Exactly,
likely.
Right.
We're with Lexington Mayor Jim Gray. Our remaining moments in just a bit here on WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. Welcome back to Kentucky Newsmakers on WKYT as we continue and wrap up our visit with Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, who is going to be returning to the Senate campaign trail with that election coming up very soon. A ferocious fire consumed the Bluegrass stockyards earlier in the year, and now there is effort underway to replace that, and it's happening pretty quickly. It
is happening quickly, and the new location, more than a 100-acre site. This is a company that's been in business, Bill, for more than 100 years, and represents to the cattle industry especially, what Keeneland represents to the thoroughbred industry. But it's a major investment, over $600 million a year business, and it represents just a major investment and a real win for the city.
Update us quickly on Town Branch Commons. I know that's something that's been something you want to see completed.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, it's really a transformative project for the city. It takes our two trails, the Town Branch Trail and the Legacy Trail, and actually connects them through the city. And it goes along the path of the original water source of the city, the Town Branch Creek. It doesn't mean that we're going to resurrect or reveal or daylight the Town Branch, but it does mean that along the path we would have a park-like setting where it'd be really friendly to bicyclists and pedestrians, represent a band of the bluegrass coming through the downtown.
You appointed Kathy Ploman to the City Council to replace the 12th District Councilman Russ Hensley, who resigned. Her appointment means for the first time there are more women on the City Council than men. Is that a significant milestone?
In our 241-year history, Bill, so that is a significant milestone. And Kathy's a wonderful appointment. She's a wonderful addition already to the council. She has a wonderful spirit. She's a devoted city volunteer in so many areas.
Mayor Gray, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.
You bet, Bill.
Thank you for joining us on WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. We'll see you bright and early this week on WKYT This Morning. You make it a good week ahead.